remove it. It slips through my fingers. I can touch these webbings, but I won't be able to get us through.
So, here we are.
I suppose now we step into the void.
Suppose we do. Dark rituals, void breach, general weirdness. Lemmy can't be far.
Destroy those ghost wards, if you want me back. Wards. Think...
It's awfully calm. Why is it awfully calm?
Something has me. Wards.
Demonologists really like pushing the limits of their knowledge without considering other lives.
That just makes them human.
What?
Spectres. They haven't noticed us. Stay low. Wards, you're on your own.
There you are.
Here I am.
Careful now.
Creepy hideout. The governor's spawn likes a bit of drama.
This one's different. Looks like it died diseased. This is some dark, sideways magic.
It's forbidden. I've read it.
Sometimes I worry about you. Ugh. What is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void. So, you can see me. Aren't you full of surprises, young Master Haskell?
You may talk. A Banisher ghost. Amazing.
As hiding places go, the void is quite the choice.
Yes, an amazing place. Or plane? World? The Araloo is not easily described, but it makes a fascinating study. Tell me, how did you get past the Guardian beneath the mill? Did you use a decoy?
We fought it. Don't change the subject.
You fought it? Of course you did. A good thing too. I was starting to think it was wise to meet tricks. Oh, but I have so many questions.
This isn't a social call, kid. And we're the ones with the questions.
Oh. Oh. Of course.
We must talk of Caleb Watson. Why in the hell would you give him a resurrection ritual?
Ruth's death hit poor Caleb hard. He was alone, and so I would often stop by his workshop. We talked. He took a keen interest in my studies and was a good listener. When he learned that she could possibly return, he had one question. How?
You saw his grief as an opportunity to test the effects of the lesser palingenesis.
Oh. You know the ritual too? Amazing, isn't it?
I've studied it. The actual ritual, not the mangled version you gave Caleb.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I found it in a copy of De Occulti Philosophia by Cornelius Agrippa von Nettesheim. A remarkable book.
I've met my fair share of illustrious occultists, and none owned an authentic Agrippa. Much is lost in translation or altered in the printing. I doubt your copy is an exception.
Of course! The power is in the words, and mine were wrong, so the power went awry. How very fascinating!
You mistake foolishness for audacity. You must mend your ways.
Surely the acquisition of knowledge cannot be a sin.
Will you still say that when Pennington accuses you of witchcraft? You must remember Deborah.
Miss Comenius. Yes, of course, I remember.
Your father tasked us with an investigation. One way or the other, we must return with the mystery solved.
Ah. I think I understand what you're saying. I might be in a tiny little bit of, danger.
You see ghosts. You stroll the void as if it were your garden. You possess and share forbidden rituals. Who are you really?
I'm Lammy Haskell, and I am a man of many sciences. I am in fact a true pursuer.
That raises more questions than it answers.
What are the pillars of the universe? Which principles underpin existence? As occultists, do we change the world or scratch upon its surface? Each discipline I embrace peels back a new layer of reality. I'm yet at the beginning and see where I already stand. Amazing, no?
You did not find the void breach beneath the mill by accident. You had help. Who taught you?
I did my research.
Suddenly, you're a man of few words.
I'd rather not involve those not present. Discretion, you understand.
Your father is convinced a witch poisoned his well. Caleb Watson was cursed by a ritual you gave him. I'd focus if I were you.
We must counter the devil with knowledge of his tricks. That, my father always said, is the purest of God's work.
Aye, I can imagine your father saying that.
When I was 10, he gave me my initiation. Demonology, sir, as he would say. He saw me as his heir. Then, of a sudden, the books were forbidden. So I stole them, the very same books he'd forced upon me as a boy. I understand them where he does not. I did no wrong, apart from a little theft.
You've studied demonology. Did you do it alone?
When my father forbade me to continue, I confess I disobeyed him in secret. Those big books were very boring until they were forbidden. Suddenly I could not get enough of their secret knowledge. Funny, eh? More recently, a good friend of my father showed me that I had only been scratching at the surface.
Who was your father's friend?
An itinerant Frenchman who often visited New Eden in recent years. He called himself a true pursuer. As a thinker, he was prolific and profound. My father was so proud to be included in his discourse. For him, knowledge is the ladder to greatness, and greatness is the prize. To me, knowledge is itself the prize.
From the looks of this place, you're knee-deep in research. What are you doing here exactly?
Searching for the origin of the Harrow's plague, of course. And I have a theory on the subject.
Of course you do. Go on then.
Now, at first, I believed the water poisoned, but my father sealed the well, and yet folk remained sick. They looked for witchcraft, a foolish, uneducated suspicion, yes, but with some truth concealed behind it. You see, the Araloo taints New Eden. Its influence leaches into the Harrows. The evidence is everywhere.
By the Araloo, do you mean the Void?
Neither name does it justice. This place is beyond words. The Araloo, Mr. McCraith, is made of the very fabric of our primordial myths. Isn't it amazing?
How can you be sure the Void has tainted the region?
In New Eden, the threshold between our plane and this is thin. Even I, a novice, may reach the frontier and then go beyond. I also believe it happened before. Some years ago, New Eden was hit by another epidemic.
Yes, we learned of it in Fort Jericho.
I believe that first epidemic was caused by the porosity of the frontier between New Eden and the Araloo. Although, where theirs was an affliction of burning flesh, ours is a corruption of mind and spirit. And I believe I have found its source. There is a substance, a strange ooze. You may have noticed it. This, I believe, is the true source of the Harrow's poison. It carries a particular stink, on the scent of which I experience first confusion, then a loss of control over my limbs.
Confusion, paralysis. Can you tell me more?
I felt my movement slowing, my thinking too. Space seemed to thicken. But wait, what if it was not space thickening, but time slowing? In recent months, many in New Eden have spoken of similar feelings, of lost time, hours untrackable, days passing unremembered. Who knows how the Araloo disturbs the minds and bodies of women and men? Unfortunately, I cannot reach the source. The Araloo is a formidable place. Tricky. A maze constantly evolving, changing, reshaping itself. The isthmus, for example. I found an oozing crack in the ground. The terrain then remade itself, and I can get to it no longer.
Perhaps we might be able to find a way through and take a look at that source.
Would you? That would be splendid. Would you mind taking notes?
Let's go take a closer look at that ooze then.
And with that sorrow gone, I can leave. Do be careful. My home is your home. If you need anything, help yourself.
The Araloo is not your home, Lamy. But thank you.
Pardon my morbid enthusiasm, Mistress Duarte, but could I ask you a few questions?
What do you wish to know?
Antea, we should get going. So, the pious governor's unassuming son is our evil Harrow's witch.
The more powerful the loose cannon, the more dangerous it is. I don't know if the paralysis and confusion applies to me, but I feel strange, and I suspect the ooze.
Oh, God. I need a wee bit of help here. Well, that was not pleasant. Not pleasant at all.
Red, I can't manifest anymore. Beware. Wards. Sorry, not this time.
There's more of. It oozes through the breach, suppurates like a festering wound.
How delightful.
Let's see what lies on the other side. Where are we now?
Underground, looks like.
Wonderful.
The ooze affects the incarnate, too. Who goes there?
Is that a ghost?
I don't know. But I don't think we're alone. What might you be, then?
What was...
Innocence.
Oh, shite.
Did you just say shite? You? It's bigger than I thought it'd be.
Is that a house from the Harrows?
We may be below the well.
No wonder they all got sick.
This house belonged to a certain Antipas and Clemency Gibbs. Something's here.
Hidden.
The Gibbs' land was barren. They were struggling for money.
Look up. The ooze, oozed through the very stone.
Mr. and Mrs. Gibbs, have you read my paper?
I read it, aye. And then I washed my hands and prayed for grace. You claim to prove that there is no curse. Well,
A witch would say that, wouldn't she?
Wherever people gather to live, disease takes hold, and I believe... What are you doing?
your evil lies shall be destroyed. We know who you are, and you shall be judged. Witch!
That was Deborah. She built a case for her rationality, and they tore it apart.
And of all of them, just this one house fell down.
Maybe it was personal.
Was the Gibbs' house targeted by the ooze?
Obviously. Look around you. Mrs. Gibbs, I presume. go then.
You're done. Another shadow.
What do they want? Red, something is keeping me from manifesting.
In here? Ah, shite.
A ward restrains me. Wards, you're on your own.
I see a ghost ward. What are you doing down here?
Something has me. Wards. Wards. Think you can fend for yourself? Better.
You're welcome.
Now let's inspect the body.
Aye, still impressive. Expected no less from you, Mrs. Gibbs.
This isn't over yet. Once more overheating. Dodge it if you can. Someone didn't want to stay dead.
Clemency Gibbs blamed the epidemic on a witch. Come from New Eden Town with the governor.
That's not what Deborah was saying.
Well, the Gibbs are not at home to rational explanations. See anything?
Either the water table is full of ooze, or there's another source.
Let's search upstream.
Over there.
Elusive little buggers.
Shall we? Don't step in that. I mean it.
Find a way around there.
Wards. I'm going to need a hand here. I can't help you.
Those echoes we're hearing are the shadows speaking.
They always appear near the ooze.
So do the whispers.
But which came first? The whispers say the same things over and over.
What kind of entity would be so obsessed?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. This isn't over yet.
looks perfectly drinkable.
Famous last words.
Why hasn't the poison spread to the groundwater?
Perhaps it shifts and shapes, like the void. Well, at the very least, it shifts. Looks like the ooze comes from a distinct source. Easy as pie.
Nah, but you can't cook.
Wards, you're on your own. Sorry, not this time. Shall we?
Looking at this is giving me the willies. Is it cursed?
Unclean spirit, leave now.
This whole country is rotten to the core.
And you're just now reaching this conclusion?
If I wanted your opinion, I'd give it to you.
Perhaps if you gave me the space to have one, then we'd both be better off. Whoever it was, looks like the ooze got him. This must be Antipas Gibbs. Hell of a fall to live through. What do you think, Antea?
You wanted the space to have your own opinion. I'm giving it to you.
He must be quite the man to have walked over here. Now join in any time, Antea.
What do you think I'm doing?
This is how they kill their fear. This is how art done.
This is God's land. How could we let a witch come to our community? Instructing our children, no less.
'Tis no surprise. New Eden brims over with backsliders. The governor, chief amongst them.
Aye, many had to sicken and die for him to act. But the deed is not yet done.
We must fight the Lord's good fight and cast the devil out for good. Many want to try the witch, aye, and many want to see her dead.
Reinforcements! There's more of them.
This isn't over yet. Standing by.
Those things came from the ooze. They're like those oriental shapeshifters we fought in Bremen.
Obake liquefy. And this is something else. The ooze reacted to our presence. The Gibbs were so angry. Pure entitled bigotry.
Maybe they were affected by the ooze. I mean, we've been snapping at each other since we got here. Something's toying with us.
I think they made the ooze. I don't think the ooze made them.
This is it. This is the source. How do we get to it?
You have turned your back from love. Look to me when most needed. Yes, sir.
If you need a breather, we can do it here.